Good morning. And welcome. Welcome to all here in this room and those on our Zoom worship link. It's good to be with you this morning. So for those who are here, just to remind you that since we're all masked and we are observing protocols, I will ask you to hum heartily on all of the songs. And those at Zoom, just sing on out. Our gathering song is number 1058, Be Ours a Religion. And I just wanted to also say that all of the music that we are doing this today, all of the songs, the words and the music are all written by Unitarian Universalists. Be Ours a Religion is words by the great Theodore Parker and music by Thomas Benjamin, who is a professor emeritus of the Peabody Conservatory. So please rise in body or spirit and hum heartily.
Our opening words today are from the Reverend Karen Johnston, who writes, "As we gather this morning, let us be a people of not forgetting. Let us practice holding collective memories that might otherwise slip into that enormous void that sucks at and corrodes any future we hold dear. Let us practice honoring truth-telling up from the past that must come fully into the now, lest we falter and fail, lest the whole remain in pieces. Let not our need for comfort or simplicity, for easy forgiveness or false pardon, smother the heartbreak that still needs healing. Let us practice resilience and reckoning. Let us marry memory and promise. Let us dance in the tension we find there. Let us rest in the integrity we cultivate there. Let us be partners with the possibility that emerges there. It is good we gather."
We light this chalice to honor the memory of those who have come before us, kindling the flames of wisdom in dark times, willing to challenge orthodoxy, even at great personal risk, giving us a legacy of freedom and a love of truth, a legacy that warms our hearts and lights our paths. Please join me in saying our church's Affirmation of Covenant and singing the Doxologies in English and Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation, Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you and good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Las Cruces. We welcome those of you who are in the sanctuary this morning, as well as those of you who are joining us by streaming technology. A special warm welcome to the veterans in our congregation. Thank you for your service. I'd like to congratulate you for marking the end of daylight savings time by setting your clocks back an hour last night. For those of you who didn't do so and showed up an hour early this morning, I hope you had a quiet hour of reflection. My name is Gary Cockrell and I'm your service associate this morning. I'm delighted to be with you. My wife Cindy and I only recently returned from spending our summer on Lake Michigan. This is our first opportunity to be in the newly renovated chapel. This is very fancy. Elwin and Michaela elevated in the back there on the staging platform. Nice stage up here. It's very nice. Reverend Dr. Kalani Casella is away on military duty, but as you've seen already, he has provided pre-recorded segments and will lead this worship service. Unitarian Universalism has no creed or dogma. We are a covenant-based church, meaning that we agree to live in relationship with each other according to Unitarian Universalist principles, including our newly adopted 8th principle, and our covenants and our congregation's covenant of right relations. We embrace diversity in all its forms. Everyone is welcome. You can learn more about the church on our website at UUCLC.org. If you are visiting us today, we'd like to meet you. If you are in the sanctuary, please rise in body or spirit to introduce yourself by telling us your name, where you are from, and we'd be interested to hear how you heard about our church. Do we have any visitors in the sanctuary this morning? Yes, sir.
But my purpose and mission is making there are many careful people in this age. We are currently converting my home into a house with garden. If you have an interest in joining that project, I would love to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you and welcome. If you are joining us by way of Zoom, just turn on your microphone and camera in order to introduce yourself. Are there any visitors joining by Zoom today? I don't think we have any streaming visitors. But thank you. We are pleased that you have joined us today for our service. Please fill out a visitor's card in the lobby or leave your email in the chat box so we can invite you to other services and activities at the church. We may also have some shy visitors who didn't introduce themselves, but are still curious about our church. If so, please feel free to fill out a visitor's card in the foyer or leave your email in the chat box so we can send you the same information. Directly following this service, there will be a time to fellowship with one another during coffee hour hosted by the Hospitality Committee. The committee has drafted a new normal for coffee hour with a focus on keeping us all healthy during this COVID pandemic. For now, members of the Hospitality Committee will serve you either water or coffee and bite-sized treat. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but that's better service than I get at home. Sorry, Cindy, I'll talk to you later. We will enjoy these refreshments and conversation outside in the fresh air. Today, I have several announcements or people who will make them. First, Katie Fitzgerald has an announcement from the Board of Trustees. Katie?
Ahoy, ye mateys! Where's a costume when you need it? No sailor suit today, I'm so sorry. Our theme for the stewardship campaign is sailing into 2022. So I'm here to give you an update. And I have to say, based on information received this morning, the Finance Committee, if we were truly on a voyage, they would be in charge of navigation and they would be in a world of hurt. Because of the cards sent out, we've only received 24 to 25% back, which means we're going to be navigating with perhaps a sextant, a compass, an outdated map, and the stars. Little tricky, don't you think? There's an urgency to this message because, let's think for a moment, our bylaws say by the end of the fiscal year, that's December 31st, we need to have a congregational meeting. And at that meeting, we need to have a budget for you all to approve. And before that can happen, the board has to meet and they have to approve it. And before the board can meet, Finance Committee has to prepare it. We meet on the 16th of this month to get it together, which gives us just a little over a week to get the other 75% of those cards in. Now, I was one of those pretty delinquent, and I apologize. I am not being a hypocrite, though. I'm ready to pass it in today. And I am sure that many of you have already passed yours in, or you've gone on Fellowship One and let us know what your pledge for next year is. I'm sure of that. But you may have a friend or a relative or a neighbor even who's a member of this church and might need a gentle, loving reminder. Hey, you know what? They need you to get it in. Katie was telling us, don't say I nagged, please. I'm not a nagger. Just tell them I reminded you all how much we need that information. The other piece that I want to update you on is of those 24 to 25%, we have a total of 110,000. Now put that into perspective. Last year about this time, the second week of November, we had a pledge total of around 170,000. Put it in perspective of our total budget, 110 would buy us facilities, committees, and programs, and our UUA dues, and a little bit extra. Or, no, it wouldn't even meet our payroll. So that's where we are, folks. Remember the playground finger play? Let's see if I remember it. I'm over 70, so give me a break. Here's the church. Wait a minute. Here's the church. Here's the steeple. Open the doors and there's the people. Well, we don't believe in steeples here, but we've got a church and we got doors, and I'm not so sure about the people. So please get your pledge cards in. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Next, David Rice has an announcement from the Social Justice Committee. David?
Have to get undressed up here. On a more positive note, I bring ornaments and gifts. This is in celebration for part of our covenant, serving others in community. Our Tents for Rent effort to raise enough money to help move people from tents into rental properties was very successful. We more than doubled our goal of $1,000 through your giving. And I'm here to just say thank you. My wife and I attended a celebratory event at Salute last week, and they gave me an ornament. And the congregation gets an ornament also. So if we just have a place to hang it, we'll be good. But anyway, congratulations and thank you for your very generous support.
Thank you, David. And Reverend XK has sent in two announcements. First, he'd like to announce that he's kicking off a 3-part class called Live Your Best UU Life. Each section will be meeting by Zoom on November 9th, 11th, and 16th. And each section will explore a different theme related to being exemplary stewards of our individual UU lives. There will be breakout room discussions about how UUs manage their time, talents, and treasure. The classes will be from 6:30 to 7:45 p.m. Everyone is welcome to attend. Second, XK has announced that everyone should know that, along with Katie's message, I pledge pins are available in the foyer for those who have sent in their 2022 pledge cards. And I think, according to Katie, about 75% of those pins are left yet to be picked up. Finally, as an announcement, the Tombaugh Gallery proudly announces UPA watercolor abstracts, an exhibit by artist Cheryl Lynn Nelson. Cheryl is not in the audience, is she? I say that because the exhibit opens with an artist reception today from 11 to 1 p.m. The show continues through the 28th, and the gallery is open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. As you know, the Tombaugh Gallery is part of and located in UUCLC. Thank you for being with us today. Now, a time for all ages.
Our opening hymn is by Joyce Poley, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, number 1008. And the words are up there. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and hum along with this beautiful melody.
One of the ways we support one another in community is the sharing of joys, sorrows, and milestones. In these challenging times, it is critical that we make attempts to stay connected with one another. Our church's website has a link which allows you to confidentially submit a joy, sorrow, or milestone to Reverend Casella. You can specify if you would like your submission to be shared with the caring team and/or the congregation, or if you prefer it remain confidential with the minister. These are the joys and sorrows that we'll receive this past week. And several of these were noted people that have passed were in today's obituary in the newspaper. The first is retired minister and former UUCLC member Dale Robeson, who died peacefully on October 31st. We also received a call from one of Dale's daughters, Heather Brune, about this morning about her father's passing. Dale's former wife, Tara Gray, is a member of the UU Church of Las Cruces. The second is to note the passing of Eloise Polly Evans, who passed away on October 26th at the age of 101, ending her lifelong quest for and sharing of knowledge. A celebration of his life is planned for next year. Donations in Polly's name can be made to Planned Parenthood of New Mexico. I should also note for Dale, memorial gifts in his name may be given to the round table at the Unitarian Church of Las Cruces. You can make your check payable to the church and specify round table in the memo line. Thirdly, as I believe was shared last week, we'd like to note that John Northcutt was recently diagnosed with esophageal cancer. Please hold him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. Finally, as shared by Catherine, she shares her sorrow that her stepmother, Merle Rayleigh, died. Merle would have been 100 in January. Well, there are some good genes out there. She was an amazing role model, Catherine reports, still active and giving and sharp as a tack. After Catherine's mother died, Merle and Catherine's dad married when he was 72 and Merle was 61. They had a ball until her dad died at 80. Catherine will be leaving for Abilene shortly after this service, Abilene, Texas, where she will be joined by her brother for service on Monday. Godspeed, Catherine. As human beings sharing space on this planet at this time in history, we all hold hopes and dreams, wounds and worries in our hearts. Remembering this, let us treat one another with patience and love. Reverend Casella will lead us in meditation prayer.
Today in the prayer, I want to acknowledge our veterans who have served our country and given of themselves and made sacrifices for our freedoms and for our Constitution, that it be protected against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Please join me for a moment of prayer and meditation. God of many names and mystery beyond all our naming, on Thursday we honor our veterans, worthy men and women who gave their best when they were called upon to serve and protect our country. We pray that you will bless them for their unselfish service in the continual struggle to preserve our freedoms, our safety, and our country's heritage for all of us. Bless them abundantly for their hardships they faced, for the sacrifices they made, for their many different contributions to America's victories over tyranny and oppression. We respect them, we thank them, we honor them, we are proud of them. We pray that you will watch over these special people and bless them with peace and happiness. We ask this and the prayers of our hearts into the silence. We ask this prayer in the name of all persons present and absent, known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, and all helpers of humankind. Let us all say in unison wherever we are, Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.
Imagine that tonight as you sleep, a miracle occurs in your life, a magical, momentous happening that has completely transformed this community and perhaps rippled out to cover and infinitely improve the life of improve other areas of your life as well. Think for a moment and tell me, how is life going to be different now? Describe it in detail. What's the first thing you'll notice as you wake up in the morning.
Our anthem is Be a Good for Nothing You by Cathy Carver. Hi, Cathy. She's joining us on Zoom today. And any mistakes are mine, and I apologize, Cathy, okay?
Today, I want to acknowledge our veterans because Thursday is Veterans Day. It's a day that we acknowledge all those who have served honorably for our armed forces. I am a veteran and very proud of my service. Today, I am actually serving with my Air National Guard unit in Albuquerque, and I am glad that I am here via video. I'm proud that we have several veterans in this congregation, and I will ask Michaela to stop the video for a moment and allow our veterans to rise as they are able, and let us show them some love for their service to the great USA. Thank you. Well, today I want to visit with you in the midst of our stewardship campaign and our pledge drive on the topic of living your best UU life. Imagine that tonight as you sleep, a miracle occurs in your life, a magical, momentous happening that has completely transformed this community and perhaps rippled out to cover and infinitely improve other areas of your life too. Think for a moment and tell me, how is life going to be different now? Describe it in detail. What's the first thing you'll notice as you wake up in the morning? That magical, momentous happening is what I call living your best UU life. The idea is what we imagine can happen, will happen if we make it happen. Magical, momentous life events can spontaneously occur. But when it comes to living your best UU life, you've got to put in the magical ingredients yourself. We had a glimpse of the magical and momentous last weekend at our pancake breakfast and auction. The church came alive, and beloved community spontaneously broke out all over the campus. I need you to take this question seriously and formulate your version of your best life here at the UUCLC. Here's the question again. Imagine that tonight, as you sleep, a miracle occurs in your life, a magical, momentous happening that has completely transformed this community and perhaps rippled out to cover and infinitely improve other areas of your life too. Think for a moment and tell me, how is life going to be different now? Describe it in detail. Here's the question. What's the first thing you'll notice as you wake up in the morning? What will you be doing? Now consider three aspects of the answer: your time, your talent, and your treasure. Most of us have limited time resources. We fill our days with to-do lists, honeydews, and running errands, often from morning until evening. But let's suppose for a minute you didn't have a time problem. You could spend as much time here at the UUCLC as you wanted. How much time might you devote to the congregation? If you donated an additional hour per week, I promise you the magical momentous could happen right here before your very eyes. A mere 1 hour equates to 1 out of the 168 hours in the week. 1 out of 168. I'm asking for 60 minutes to bring about the magical, momentous, beloved UU life. It could be any time you want it to be, and could be spent alone or with others. In an hour, you could help children in RE, clean out a flower bed, organize files and miscellaneous items in the admin office, help in the library, visit one of our homebound members, attend a committee meeting, or be a greeter. If you get real thirsty, you could visit with me for an hour and we could get to know each other better. All of these ideas for your 1 hour contribution would jumpstart your best UU life. I've only scratched the surface of what an hour can get you. Suppose you donated 2 hours or 2 hours every other week. You might catch a Tai Chi class, bond with the quilters, or make yourself known to our administrator, Sherry Kofelt, who could surely use your company in the office. Someone will say, none of those things appeal to me exactly, so I wonder what else could I do with my time? That's where your talents come into play. Each of us has a unique inherited gift from our parents, our grandparents, and the universe. I can't tell you what your gift is that you possess, but I am confident that there is a place for you to exercise your gifts in this community as a way of giving back and making the miraculous moment happen. Part of living the best UU life is having a sense of purpose and strategy for putting the 8 principles into play. It's one thing to know the principles or to be able to recite them. It's a whole other thing to live in a way that aligns with our principles. Most of us are running around seeking happiness, hoping it will be just around the corner. In reality, living a purpose-filled life derives from the way you put your talents to work to create more value for the community. I would consider it all joy if there were people in our congregation who knew how to build web pages and were willing to share that talent. It would be impressive if we had people to monitor the campus grounds during our services and to make sure people who come on campus are safe. It would be a true miracle if someone with talent to organize groups and teams steps forward to help us coordinate volunteers. Just imagine how happy you would be if you were to donate your talent to a passion that meets a critical need in this community. You'd be so full of spirit, joy, and satisfaction. The wonderful thing about donating your talent to the church is you don't have to fill out a pledge card. You just show up and get at it. But let us know in advance what you are here to do. We'll explore more about giving talent to the church in my upcoming course called Living Your Best UU Life, which starts on Tuesday. We'll be breaking out into small groups so you can share your vision with others. Maybe you'll find someone who has a similar vision and wants to join you in making that vision real. Here's a story that you will appreciate. The local United Way office realized it had never received a donation from the town's most successful lawyer. Sir, a fundraiser called him up and said, "Our research shows that you have an income of over $600,000, but you don't give a penny to charity. Would you like to give back to the community in some way?" The lawyer replied, "Did your research show that my mother is dying from a lengthy illness and her medical bills are several times her income?" The United Way volunteer said, "No, sir. I apologize. We didn't realize." The lawyer continued, "And my brother, a disabled veteran, is blind and confined to a wheelchair." The caller was about to apologize further, but the lawyer continued, "And my sister's husband was killed in a car accident, leaving her penniless with 3 children." The United Way rep was aghast and just said, "I'm so sorry." The lawyer continued, "And I don't give any money to them. So why should I give any to you?" Well, a part of that story is actually true. There will always be people who don't give any money to charity. Let's just say they have their reasons. Then there are those who go and give far beyond measure. I'm not talking about asking people who are struggling to make ends meet to give beyond their means, or people who struggle to put food on the table every day. This community ought to be and does help them. It would be great, though, to see people with hefty incomes and generous retirement savings contribute more generously if they can to the UU Church. Don't get me wrong. We are overly grateful and filled with gratitude for the gifts of treasure that you bestow upon this congregation. But as you know, over the last year, we've been hit hard by the pandemic, and there are no more government loans coming our way to rescue us from the effects of the downturn. As you know, and as of now, you ought to know, we need about $80,000 to $100,000 to complete our pledge drive this year and to fund the 2022 budget. As we say in the hood, that's a whole heap of money. So please send in your pledge cards. If you've already pledged, please consider upping your pledge. Therein lies the magical, momentous event we dream will happen in this community, this dream world of ours. To build the world we dream of, we need you to go home and sleep and wake up and know that the magical momentous depends on you. Please dream, and dream big. Dream like you've never dreamed of the UU Church before. Your dreams contribute to you living your best UU life. Now, in many denominations, they ask their members to routinely give 10% of their income to the church. We're not asking for 10%. Now, we'd love to have 10%. That would make the momentous miracle occur like it has never happened in this space before. I think, and I invite you to think about a percentage that you can share on your way to living your best UU life. If you were to give, say, 3% of your income, what would be the first thing you would see when you wake up in the morning? What would be the first thing you want to see when you come through those doors on Sunday or any other day to this campus? Some will say, we can't raise $100,000 in this small community, but we can. We can do it. Here's a story I heard from a teacher. Speaking to a collegiate athletic team, the man says, I asked the group how many planets there are in our solar system. A young man responded, 8. I said, are you sure? And he said with certainty, I am sure. I asked, how certain are you? He said, I would bet my life on it. I then asked him if he considered dwarf planets to be planets. He said, what are dwarf planets? I said, are you aware that there are dwarf planets in our solar system? He said, no. I said, I recently read that the International Astronomical Union currently recognizes that there are at least 5 dwarf planets in our solar system and hundreds more on the outer rim. He said, I didn't know that. I said, a minute ago, you were so certain that there are only 8 planets in our solar system that you were willing to bet your life on it. And now it looks like you're not so sure. He said, I think I just learned that I shouldn't bet my life on things that I can't be certain about. The man said, what can you be certain about? He replied, that I should never bet my life on things ever again. And I said with a smile, it seems like you're pretty certain about that. He laughed, the group laughed, and we all laughed. When people are awake, the absurdity of certainty is comical. When you awaken from your dream state about your best UU life, I challenge you to challenge the absurdity of certainty. When you give your time, talent, and treasure, I'm almost certain you become empowered to make the magical, momentous event come true. I invite you to join me this Tuesday and Thursday and next Tuesday for a short course I've created called Living Your Best UU Life. We're going to break down these 3 components a lot deeper. Then break out into small groups so you can talk about your dreams for this community. The classes will last only about 75 minutes, but I promise you're going to want more time. There'll be fun, and you'll lay the groundwork for living your best UU life. Now, here's that question again. Imagine that tonight as you sleep, a miracle occurs in your life, a magical, momentous happening that has completely transformed this community and perhaps rippled out to cover and infinitely improve other areas of your life too. Think for a moment and tell me, how is life going to be different now? Describe it in detail. What's the first thing you'll notice as you wake up in the morning? And what will you be doing? Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.
Give me an amen for that. In addition, we're streaming each service to include as many people as possible. As a community of faith and generosity, we weathered more than a year and a half during which no services were held in person. We are currently practicing indoor masking and social distancing in order to help end the spread of COVID-19 and its variants. Many of the church's expenses continue during this time, and some will increase as we reopen and expand services and programs. It is vitally important for the ongoing work and health of the church that each of us fulfill our financial pledge. All through the pandemic, we continued to support organizations identified by the Social Justice Committee as recipients of our Change for Change program. The recipient for this quarter is Seroptimus International of Las Cruces, part of a global women's service organization. Their mission is to provide women and girls access to education and training they need to achieve economic empowerment. Our local Seroptimus Club supports women's education in Southern New Mexico with their Dream It, Be It, and Live Your Dream awards, which provide financial support for educational programs beyond high school. In addition, the Dream It, Be It Career Support Conference, sponsored by Seroptimus International, teaches high school girls enduring life skills. You can make your pledge or donate to Change for Change by putting checks and change in the basket, or by sending checks to the church, or by credit cards using the Give link on our church's website. If you're joining this worship service or looking for a spiritual home and are sympathetic with UU values and principles, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Las Cruces may be the place for you. We believe that when you become a member, you are entering into a warm and deep relationship with the church and all of the members and friends. You are becoming part of something much bigger than any of us. You're becoming part of a movement to change our community and our world. There are several routes you can take to membership. You can speak with a minister after an in-person service, Or you can call the church and leave a message about your interest, and a person from the membership committee will contact you. Or you can sign the virtual membership book through the link in the electronic order of service.
I invite you to rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn, Blessed Spirit of My Life by Shelley Jackson Denham.
Before I offer the closing words, I want to thank my good colleague here and friend and church member, Gary Cockrell, for serving as service associate today. This is the first time that we've tried the video format while I'm away, and the service associate is there in the pulpit doing all the other functions solo. So I thank him for his wonderful leadership. And also thank our musicians and choir and Michaela and Elwin for their fantastic work on the AV stage. Our closing words are from the Reverend Scott Taylor, who wrote, "We may remember that we never walk out into the world alone. We stand on the shoulders of brave and generous ones who have gone before. We walk beside companions ready to catch us when we fall. We hold memories of dear ones in our hearts who keep us connected to our center. May we make this our most important work, to remember that who we are does not end at the edges of our own skin." Amen. Please, my friends, if you haven't done so already, send in your pledge cards and give generously. And have a great week and a great Memorial Day. I'll see you next time.
Well, Memorial Day is coming sooner or later, so. Please join me in saying the words to extinguish the flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.